Colin here from Sills Argo, just going to do a quick little video. This is a 2019 Frontier 600, the base 6-wheeler. It's got the Briggs & Stratton V-twin 18 horse carbureted engine, great little motor. But I thought we'd do this video to show you how to clean the pilot jet on the carburetor. This is something that happens when they sit a little bit of time, some varnish or a little bit of dirt gets stuck in the pilot jet. You might notice the vehicle surging or sputtering, blowing black smoke, not wanting to idle properly. It's a quick little fix that you can do yourself rather than drag it all the way in to the shop and have a mechanic do it. A few things that you have to know: just take the breather apart, take the top off, take the filter out, remove these 4 bolts here on the silver piece to remove that. That little rubber hose stays with that plate. You'll see where it comes off right down here below. Take your, that's it, you leave your fuel line. You're going to leave the carburetor on the engine. You're just going to remove the top, removing these top 4 screws of the carburetor. See one little linkage rod there on the back, which you just remove by turning the top, and that's it. That removes the top of the carburetor. So set that aside. And this is where you want to be careful. This is your pilot jet right here. So you'll see in the carburetor a flat screwdriver. You make sure you have a flat screwdriver that fits it properly, not to strip it, and that will unscrew. Most of the time, folks, this is where you're going to see your varnish build up, and it will be, I'll hold that up, the varnish will be in these little tiny holes here or straight down through the jet. You should be able to blow air through or see light through this jet. See if we can see it in this video. I don't know if you can see very clearly, but it's just a little tiny hole in that, and as long as there's no debris in there, we blow it out. Sometimes you can use a little tiny piece of wire and put down through it. You don't want anything to distort it or stretch the hole out, but that's basically it. Just blow that out, make sure there's no little tiny flakes of varnish or dirt in there. Sometimes you can't even see the dirt. Just blowing it out and then putting it back together. This here is your float assembly, and underneath this is your needle. You have to be very careful if you lift that up, not to let the needle drop down. The needle sits into the float. Sometimes it's good to just lift that up, make sure you don't see any dirt in the needle or seat. Then you put the top of the carburetor back on. Hook your linkage on. Drop the carburetor top down into place. Put your 4 screws on. Then put your breather back on. When you put your lower breather assembly back on, you're hooking up that little hose, and then the big hose goes down onto that crankcase vent or PCV valve. Make sure you get that on. Line up your holes. Sometimes it's a good idea when you're doing this to close your choke. What that'll do is it'll stop. Sometimes it'll catch if you drop one of the screws or anything from going down the throat of the carburetor. You don't want to do that. Filter back on the wing nut. And install the top of the breather. That's pretty much it. That's Colin Cruz from Sills Argo, 2019 Frontier 600 carburetor service.